What's up, everybody? Paul here from the Hoops Crew, and today we are kicking into a new episode of the Paul James Show, and let's get things started. Very much looking forward to getting into it. There's been a big week in footy. There's been a lot of points of conversation here. Thank you to everyone in the chat who is already getting busy. Ben is right. It is not the Paul and Ben show. I'm not allowing him, but thank you. I can already see Jackie acknowledging my birthday the other day, and there was many others in our community Discord who shouted me out there. So thank you to all of those people who've shown me a bit of love this week. It's been a bit of fun, and Mick James, the Mick James Show, if you're there and aware of it, it's a bold and brand new era for myself as a person. Anyway, who cares? We've got a big show tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about Jeremy Cameron, his fitness. We're going to talk about Jay Polkinghorne and some of the other players who featured in the practice match the other night and how they went and where we can go from there. I'm certainly looking forward to getting a lot of your thoughts in that regard as well. We're going to talk about all the different rule changes for 2026 and how they're tracking so far. We're going to take an early look at the community game on Wednesday night of next week between Geelong and Carlton. We're going to talk about some of the pass marks for different players in the coming season. I don't want to lean into that too heavily. Ben's tried to put that on my agenda, but I'm already working on all these season previews, so I've had a lot to say about them. I think I'm going to look more for some of your thoughts as a chat when it comes to that particular section. But we are going to react to something that Ben has put together. He has ranked the top 10 Geelong Cats defenders of all time, and we'll have a bit of a rip through those. So that and a whole lot more in this episode of the Paul James Show. Looking forward to getting into it. And let's get started. Yeah, I'm seeing Ben's shouting out the blue collared shirt. I'm still in my work attire. It is different these days. I mean, I've had, I don't know where it's gone. I don't know where I left it. My Geelong polo's floating around here somewhere. It was about up until 5 minutes before the show that I was still recording. Player previews, and Jackie's just shouted out, looking forward to the Joe Pike vid that will drop tomorrow. I'm still churning those ones out. So there was three more of those that I recorded tonight because I'm actually going to get to spend a bit of time away from home this weekend. I'm off to Echuca with the wife and kids for a few days. We're leaving straight after I finish work tomorrow night. So I wanted to make sure that we kept the content coming. That's led to a later start tonight with this one because I wanted to make sure I continued to deliver for all of you guys. So anyway... you've all paid for this trip to Echuca with all your birthday love. No, I'm kidding. All right, let's get into things. Thank you to everyone who's already getting busy in the chat. So to Jackie, to Ben, I saw Mark here before, and it's one of the highlights, I think, of my week to have seen a comment there from you, Mark. He says, so pleased to have found this channel. I've been following the Cats since the early 60s, and I've never had so much fun in my life. Gotta love this social media stuff. To any of you who are out there watching right now, please utilize the chat. We try to hone more in on any super chats that come in. If you've got topics of conversation, we'll look at the super chats to try and bring them to the top as a priority. And then as we get to the live chat section later in the show, we'll look for some other thoughts as well. So if you've got something you want to bring to the table and you want to discuss it, please utilize the super chat functionality. Don't even care how much, but it helps the Hoops Crew to grow, and it gets more. It kind of helps keep the show a bit more streamlined. Shadoo's just popped in for the first time as well for the chat. Looking forward to chatting to you. Flash is there as well. So thank you to all of you who've popped in so far, and hopefully you enjoy the show tonight. If you enjoy what the Paul James Show is, make sure to check out the rest of our Hoops Crew content. There's a lot of it. Myself, Ben, and the chaps are churning stuff out. And like I said, there's all of those player previews on my part that I hope you check out as well. That's all there on the Hoops Crew YouTube channel. So please, if you haven't already, subscribe to this video. I saw Ben acknowledging that there was a good chunk of people who'd already dropped a like on it before the stream even started. Thank you to all of those people. And if you are just now tuning in, please consider liking this video as well. It helps get all of the Hoops Crew content out there, our live streams, our pre-recorded stuff to more people. And lastly, if you want to continue to support the Hoops Crew, put us in your will. And that is our segue to our first story of the night, which, when I can get rid of some ads that are on the page, is about the Collingwood Football Club. The Collingwood has been rocked. That's a little bit extreme, but anyway, rocked by a backlash to a disgusting letter sent to members. It's all nickel and dimey sort of stuff, and it's it's certainly blown up a lot today, specifically as we record this. AFL fans have reacted with anger to a letter sent by Collingwood to the football club's members and supporters. A social media storm erupted on Thursday when one social media user shared a photo on X, formerly known as Twitter, should still be known as Twitter, of a hard copy letter posted from the AFL powerhouse to one of its club members. The letter contained details of the club's bequests process where supporters are encouraged to leave a gift of their will to the Collingwood Football Club. What a joke. A photo of the letter one social media user was mailed to his mum and has gone viral in footy circles. The Collingwood Football Club has confirmed to news.com.au the letter pictured is legitimate. That was a chance to deny. They would have been caught eventually, but you could have bought yourself some time. It's understood the letter was only sent to members over the age of 50. So, hey guys, you're going to die soon. Give us your money. That's pretty awful. And obviously, that's hyperbole even on my part. Like, there's plenty of people. I've got plenty of grandparents that are living well beyond the age of 50. But that stinks. It's really... It's money grubby. Like, it's fairly obvious. Will this blow up? Yep, cool. It's money grubby. I don't like that. It's really insensitive and disrespectful to those who are 50 plus. I don't like it. And I say that, and obviously the other day in my Paddy Dangerfield video, I made some little jokes about his grey hair, but they were jokes. It was flippant. I think everyone knew I was referencing some of my own that my wife plucks out of my head to try and maintain some youth. This is next level. You're trying to monetize the death, or potential death, I should say, of some of your fans and members. It's gross. But anyway, I don't love it. Scotty's there in the chat. It's a big four thing novelty clubs won't understand. It's pretty gross. I don't love it. Ben says, say cost of a cup of coffee to get all the Chaps Chat Cats content. That makes it even harder. No, I'm not going down that path. I can barely string it together when I'm just talking about Hoops Crew content. But yeah, we keep looking through there. The club has further details about its bequests program on the official website. It's a really formalised thing. The letter was headlined, "Yes, I will stand side by side forever, even in death." The letter reads, by joining side by sign forever with a gift in your will, you can leave a lasting mark on the club you love. Your support will ensure that every Magpie, past, present and future, stands together in strength, spirit and unity. Fuck you, Collingwood. Another part of the letter posted includes the note, if you already have a will, it's easy to make changes so your legacy can include Collingwood. The social media user first shared the letter has been contacted by news.com.au. The user posted the photo while writing, my mum got this today. Are they serious? How much money do they need? It is, it's a real problem. We've had pet memberships. We've had all sorts of different ways that clubs have tried to nickel and dime. But this is it's a new level of gross. And I hate it. But that's our first story of the night behind us. Let's get on to something that's a little bit more Geelong-centric. Certainly, I'm glad Scotty's popped in because I'm sure he'll have a bit of fun with this particular point of conversation. And shout out to the likes of Amy and Scotty and Aiden, who've all popped into the chat and getting busy there in the chat as well. Thanks to you guys for showing up and having a bit of fun. But let's get into a topic that Scotty in particular I think is going to thoroughly enjoy. For us Geelong members, we sit back and go, oh, not again. Let's talk about, oh no, did Ben send me a link that's, oh no, Ben has sent me a dodgy link. We'll work on this in the meantime. In fact, let's just go to archive.md right now. Everyone can see my fraudulent ways live. We're gonna, I'm not a robot. I am not a robot. There we go. All right. Haha, suckers. Cat sponsor accused of fraud. Speaking of fraud, paid for... the irony is not lost on me here. Cat sponsor accused of fraud, paid for players' luxury hotel in Munich. A former Geelong club sponsor who is accused in court documents of defrauding up to $14.5 million from registered charity Gen U. I had a mate of mine from Geelong who worked for Gen U. And then found himself out of a job, and I wonder if it's all tied to some fraudulent behaviour going on elsewhere. Paid more than $3,300 towards the luxury accommodation of Cat stars Joel Selwood and Mitch Duncan at a German hotel in 2018. The payment made by former information technology manager Si Jiang Nguyen raises concerns about the scope of a recent investigation by the AFL into Geelong's compliance with total player payments and soft cap rules between 2019 and 2024. The club was fined $77,500 in October, with $40,000 of that suspended after an AFL audit found Geelong had not declared that club sponsors... I'm trying to read off the other screen, so I'm looking more at you. Where's it gone? The club sponsors or associates had allowed players to stay at a Queensland property or had gifted them bottles of wine. But the AFL is expected to face renewed pressure to examine the payment by Nguyen towards 2 hotel suites in Munich, which were arranged by another Geelong benefactor, Stuart Caulfield. Caulfield, who is managing director of Geelong Travel, booked 2 rooms at the Mandarin Oriental in October 2018 for Britt Davis and Demi Miles, who are the long-term partners of Selwood and Duncan respectively, according to documents obtained by this masthead. However, there appears to have been some confusion around who would occupy the rooms. Now, we'll lean into the quote here because this came from the hotel, if I recall. We'd like to double-check that we've noted down these correctly. May we please ask, Miss Brittany Davis will share the room with you, Mr. Caulfield, and Miss Demi Miles will share the room with Si Jiang Nguyen. An email from staff at the Mandarin Oriental sent to Caulfield, Davis, and Nguyen on October 3rd said, "Please excuse the additional question, but kindly inform us if Miss Davis or Miss Miles is your sister," the email stated. On the same day, now we're getting weird. But on the same day, Nguyen used an American Express Platinum card to pay €2,050. That's the 3,340 at the time of Aussie dollars to the Munich-based hotel, according to a receipt obtained by the masthead. It remains unclear which room Nguyen paid for. This masthead does not suggest any wrongdoing by Selwood, Duncan, or their partners, or that they were aware of serious fraud allegations made by Gen U against Nguyen and late businessman Keith Greenwood. Of course, if we kind of start to lean into our own kind of points of conversation here, as everyone's clearly enjoying Oktoberfest there back in 2018, there's obviously, and you can hear it in the language being used here, they're treading very carefully. The word allegedly is being used a lot, and of course, I will also lean into that as well. Scotty says, who did the audit, PJ? Who did the audit? The AFL did. So if you got a problem, we level at the AFL. But maybe it was part of the AFL's finding. Maybe it was one of, let's suppose for a second that there was something dodgy here. Maybe that was part of what got caught up in the AFL audit. Maybe it wasn't, I don't know. I think the problem is, and setting the Geelong part of this aside, and of course it's hard, we're a Geelong-based platform here, and I know any neutrals might jump on me for kind of going big picture and not zeroing in on Geelong, and maybe I'm protecting the club or whatever. But going big picture for a second, in the case of the Geelong audit last year and other similar cases over the years, and actually completely off-topic stuff as well, the AFL doesn't share enough information. Ultimately, I think when they go through these investigations, they need to share what they've found. Because right now, this is a headline because the public and possibly even, plenty of people within the media don't actually know what the things were that Geelong had done wrong. And obviously there's been this, lack of disclosures and, different things here, here, whatever there. These are all things that have kind of bubbled to the surface and their conversations. And ultimately, most of it's nothing more than rumor. But it all might be legit. But we don't know because nothing was formally disclosed. Here's the laundry list of things that were done wrong. And I would appreciate that transparency. I think anyone who is sitting here commenting and suggesting, oh, here we go, look, Geelong again, blah, blah, the AFL didn't do this, the AFL didn't do that, is fairly right and reasonable in jumping to these conclusions because we don't have the facts from the official investigation that was done. And if the AFL just put those details out, it's not on Geelong to do that. If the AFL put those details out, maybe this would be disclosed in there. Or maybe it wouldn't, and the AFL would have to go back to Geelong and go, what the fuck is this? What is this? Why was this not brought to the table back then? And I wouldn't blame them for doing that in that instance. And I wouldn't be defending Geelong if that was the case as well, because they had the opportunity to put everything out on the table, flop it out on the table, and they didn't. But we don't know. And that's that's where I'm kind of at here. And this is why I really just wish there would be more transparency. It gives the conspiracy theorists more opportunity to go, those cats, look, it's the AFL keeps looking after them. And, no one can really do anything about it because there's no info out there. End rant. Let's move on to our next story. Another one from archive.md, but Ben was across this one. Here we go. Laptop X. Sex, highs, and videotapes leave footy stars, celebs sweating after explicit files have been seized. Yeah, this one seems to be bubbling along and potentially close to some exploding sometime soon. We don't know what AFL players or what clubs even are potentially connected to this, or that it is bubbling away. Nice depiction of some coke there on the thing. Anyway, explosive files on a laptop threaten to expose several current and former AFL footballers, celebrities, and high-profile corporate figures in a major drugs and sex scandal. An examination of the device, which was seized as part of a workplace legal battle, has unexpectedly unearthed X-rated images, sex tapes, images of drug use, and suspicious banking records. There would be a lot of people sweating on this, said one source who has witnessed the materials. The individuals involved would be surprising to many. These are people who are known in the community and would see their reputation affected if any of these files were made public. I guess there's something to read into the line of it would be surprising to many because maybe they're people that you wouldn't expect. So what I'm getting at here is that, we're not talking about some video of Lachie Neale. We're not talking about someone who's, there's been indiscretions of in the past, like our own Bailey Smith, for example. Presumably. Could be wrong. But I guess it's more how I kind of read into that particular comment, that the individuals would be surprising to many. That, they're supposedly people that are, you wouldn't pick it. And that's an interesting one to me. We'll continue on. They include several well-known people, both officials and players from multiple AFL clubs. The hard drive has been found to contain one image of celebrities gathered around a dusty black table with crystal substances piled on top. In another photograph seen by the Herald Sun, a nationally admired sportsman is captured with a yellow-tinged crystal substance that resembles the narcotic MDMA in his mouth. There's also images showing white powder. Nationally admired sportsman instantly takes me out of the realm of AFL because it's not, the entire country doesn't get around the sport. But maybe we're talking about a cricketer. We might be talking about soccer or basketball, some of those ones that don't have state boundaries involved. So I don't know. Ben says, I'd be shocked if a former host of the footy show was included in these images. Who knows? Aidan saying Brisbane's pre-season activities. I don't know. That's a really interesting one. Yet another photograph shows a well-known married business leader in a high-priced hotel room holding a scantily clad woman. The laptop also contains graphic, homemade sex videos involving prominent Melburnians. The owner of the laptop also kept extensive records, including images of sex workers and high-profile women who he appears to have hosted at parties in Melbourne. Phone records reveal he was in a romantic relationship with a footy wag who helped him procure other women for sex with other members of his coterie. Coterie, sorry. I misread that. The Herald Sun is unable to provide further detail of the contents for the laptop for legal reasons. And then the rest will just be all speculation at this point. And of course, that's all we can do. We're not going to, because let's not create double standards here around the Tanner Bruin conversation from last year. So in this particular instance, like I said, my presumption is that it's not necessarily going to be the players. When we focus on the AFL side of things, we're not necessarily thinking about the players who would immediately spring to mind, Lachie Neale for his cheating, or, Bailey Smith for different mistakes he's made over the years, etc., etc. It seems like when it comes to people tied to the AFL, that they might be people you unexpect, that, it's really going to potentially lower their standing. And I think any of these individuals, it's going to lower their standing, but I guess it'd be a shock for them. So anyway, let's be mindful of accusations and those sort of things. We don't wade into that. That's not kind of the way we carried ourselves last year with Tanner, and it's not how we're going to carry ourselves now. And the word allegedly needs to be stressed with all of this. Next topic. We got some player portraits that have come out from Photo Day. Ben has used a few of those, I believe, in the thumbnail, and he's given me and we'll just scroll through a few of those. We've got Tyson Stengel. Oh, geez, we're getting some real up close ones here. Like, what's the go with all of these? But Connor O'Sullivan, it actually makes his, I don't know, the angle of it, the lighting of it, I guess. I know what they're doing, but a ratio doesn't look right. But anyway, Tyson Stengel, we've got James Warple. We'll keep scrolling through these, but we're seeing that some of the player portraits are out. And of course, I've been doing these player previews, and for all of the new guys, I've not had player profile pictures there. Those presumably will start popping up on the Geelong site imminently, if they're not already. In fact, we'll take a look, because knowing my luck, I finish recording all of these things, and then suddenly they appear. So let's, not the fixture, teams. No, we don't have anything for Hunter, Jesse, Harley, or Nick yet. That's okay. Good. We're happy. For the record, everyone, I'm up to Zach Guthrie. Recorded that. We've got 5 more to go. But they're not there yet. So let's keep scrolling through. Jezza and Tommy. Having a good laugh. We'll keep scrubbing through here. There's 57 of them. But Ben undoubtedly is going to use a lot of these over the course of the year for thumbnails. And good on him. Have fun with him. Jed. Justice for Jed. Where's roaming when you need him? Justice for Jed. Spudica says, wait till Shadu sees Baz up close. There he is. Scotty says, is this the VFL photo day? Mate, you beat Brisbane in a practice game. Let's not get too carried away. Reese, Premiership Ruckman. Georgie Stevens. There's Shannon Neale getting right into it. Where are we? 34 out of 57. We'll keep... Look, they've clearly been all given a few poses. There's Danger starting to clown it out a little bit. Good bit of fun. They're having fun with it. Ben's probably prepared the next 15 thumbnails for different videos and for Paul James shows and all those sorts of things based on just this material alone. So it'll be fun. I can't get around Mark Blitzarves' nose ring. Obviously, we don't see it on game day, but I can't get around the nose ring. I don't know what he's doing. And there we go. That's the end. So let's move on to our next story here, which is around James Warple. He speaks about his experiences at Hawthorn, how they differ to his experiences at Geelong, and the fun and games that come with it. So Geelong recruit James Warple has described the environment at his new club as almost the polar opposite, i.e. successful, to Hawthorn as he prepares to don the blue and white for the first time. This was put together before the game against the Hawks in the practice match, the scratch match, where we had half of our senior list out through the state of origin and others just being rested. So we'll get a chance to talk a little bit about that one coming up. After crossing to the Hawks arch rivals in free agency, Warple's nearing the end of his first preseason at the Cattery and ready to beef up the grand finalist midfield for another flag tilt. It's a childhood dream come true for Warple. He was drafted out of Geelong Falcons after growing up a Cats fan in the small country town of Bannockburn, which is just outside Geelong. The midfielder has enjoyed a change of scenery at a club that's renowned for its more relaxed lifestyle away from the Melbourne bubble. And here's some of the quotes, the stuff that we really care about here. I've probably gone from almost the polar opposite in Hawthorn to Geelong. It's been a bit of a change. Not just the weather, I presume. But it's been a good change, Warple told foxfooty.com.au. The boys are pretty relaxed and the program is pretty flexible, which is nice. You still get all the work done that you need to work hard, no doubt about that. But there's a bit more common sense and it's a bit more flexible, which is a nice little change up. He's certainly giving some of his ex-Hawks teammates some ammo here. We're already doing it better. It's a bit different from Hawthorn, he says. Warple's footy journey has come full circle after 2 years at the Geelong Falcons, including co-captaining the TAC Cup side, the 2017 Premiership, a side that also featured his mate Graham Myers. A decade on, Warple's now chasing that same glory in the blue and white hoops yet again, only on a slightly larger scale. The 27-year-old admitted there's always been a pull to return home at some stage of his AFL career if the chance came up. Given I grew up a Geelong supporter, if the opportunity came up throughout my career, I was definitely going to have a hard think about it, he said. It came maybe a bit earlier than expected, but I'm happy to be here now. and he's working closely with assistant coach James Kelly and footy boss Andrew Mackey. These are players I have so many good memories of watching when I was growing up. It's pretty surreal. The program is run so well and the people are so nice. I'm not surprised in how they've been for a long time. They've got a good system and they know what works. It's just a really good club to be around. I can't wait to get in and play in a real game, which it wasn't the other day, but it was. He put his best foot forward. He put in a pretty good game against the Hawks. So yeah, that's where we're at on James Worpel. Of course, we spoke a bit about some of his numbers last week and kind of where he's at as a footballer and what improvements I think need to occur in his game to see him really thrive and kind of prove to be a worthwhile acquisition. But we'll see how that shapes up. I think the game against Carlton will tell us a lot more than the game against the Hawks. Next story here is around Kane Cornes and his top 50 players he put together. And let's see if I had a graphic. Ben's just sent me a link. I had a graphic. No, we're just going to have to scroll through. And I think we'll scroll through and I'll kind of highlight, I guess, some of the players that I think are interesting selections. We'll start at one and we'll work our way back because I think it's with that bit of context that will help guide some of the conversations around the others. But this is also... Hang on. When was this one published? This must be old. That's 2025. So I've just... What's going on here? Oh, maybe it just didn't load in the first place. It didn't load in the first place. All right, let's... Hang on. What? No. There was a graphic. Ben, you failed me once again. There was a graphic. I'm going to check it out on the side here. The thing, though, that set off the big red flag for me, as I'm sure it did for some others as well, is Sam Darcy, I think, who was his number one. So Kane Cornes, top 50... We'll find the image. Undoubtedly, there's going to be an image here somewhere. And there it is. Let's pull it across. Courtesy of Twitter. Hang on, that's old. That's not it either. Damn it. Come on. Latest. Here we go. Now we've got the one I'm looking for. Sorry about that little delay, everyone. All right. Sam Darcy was number one. And in my mind... Actually, no. I'll come back to the thoughts. So we can see Sam Darcy, Nick Dacos. Look, I think 3 of the top 5 I think are pretty obvious. Noah Anderson's maybe a smidge higher than I would have expected, but he certainly belongs in that top 10-ish sort of conversation. Isaac Heaney, Jeremy Cameron... we've got a range of pretty expected figures in that top 20, but I think there's a few in there. And let's pause at the end of the top 20, which just squeezes Max Holmes in, by the way. Let's kind of... There's 2 that I want to hone in on. Riley Tilthorpe and Sam Darcy. So ranked at 16th and 1st, respectively. I think there's too much of a potential thing that's guiding this. And I think about the old Mark Robinson top 50s and the Doyen before him. And I don't think potential would have been a factor here. It would have been based on where they're at. What they've demonstrated would have had them ranked. Now, I'm not going to question that both individuals I think should be in the top 50. But they shouldn't be. Sam Darcy shouldn't be number one. Sam Darcy shouldn't be number one. He's not proven himself yet, and in fact, he got his pants pulled down in the State of Origin game, because he just contributed nothing against one of the best defenders in the comp. But Sam Darcy, he belongs in the 50, but he shouldn't be that high. Riley Tilthorpe, similar sort of deal. Let's continue on though and see if there's any other kind of more egregious selections. Honestly, I can't even... maybe he hasn't, really struck a chord with me. Who's number 22? Why aren't I recognizing that head? Who is that? And then we've got others like, Tom Green. I respect where he's positioned. Obviously, he's now done an ACL and he's going to be out for the season, so he'll slip off that list. If probably Kane was to revisit it today. Tom Green's number 33, but who's number 22? My dogs, yeah, they acknowledge that it's shit house. Hayden Young, 26. Sorry, mate, he spent too much time injured. He hasn't proven himself consistently yet. Oh, yeah, that checks out, Finn Callahan. That would make sense. But even that's probably a little bit high for what he's delivered so far. I don't think he's been reliable, like consistent enough yet to justify this. As I look through, I'm, I guess, looking for some players who maybe are ranked a bit low in my eyes. I would be putting, Nick Larkey above Tilthorpe, for example. He's consistently demonstrated that capacity. If we continue down the beat of key forwards. Yeah, like Jordan Clark's like I like Jordan Clark. I'm disappointed he left Geelong. I think there's a lot he could offer. Obviously, Lawson's doing an amazing job for us, but he kind of belongs as much as I don't like to admit it. But is he as high as 41? Oh, we're probably not far off. Josh Tracy, I don't know about. I think it's interesting. Like the Kane, obviously, it's a midfielder's game, and we don't necessarily love that fact. He's really put a lot of key forwards up here. Mitch Georgiades doesn't belong in this list. I think there might be a hint of his Port bias paired with the potential conversation that I've raised a moment ago. I think there's a few here that slipped in. Oh no, Scotty's upset because we've got Bailey Smith here above Sam Walsh. I would say it's right because Sam Walsh has still been hampered even as recently as last year, whereas Bailey was a top half dozen Brownlow. If Sam Walsh gets back to like playing 90% of the season, then I think that starts to become a different conversation. But I think I would actually agree with, I guess, not necessarily the ranking of the both of them, but the fact that Bailey is ahead of Sam. Bailey played the year and had no dramas, as opposed to... Flash asks, is Charlie Curnow there? Charlie is ranked 36 on the list. We're bringing Brownlows into this. No, not really, but I guess like he played more football. He played more football and played at a high level consistently all year. Sam Walsh didn't actually. But speaking of Brownlows, and to throw you a bone there, Scotty, where's Cripper? Cripper should be on this list. But there's too many key forwards. Where are the key defenders? I can see two in Harris, Andrews, and Sam Taylor. Key defenders. We've got Max Gawn as a ruckman, but no Tristan Sherries or some of the other guys who've been doing an amazing job in the ruck. The rucks have been dogged a bit here. Shadu says Jacob Wiedering should be there. I would agree. I think he's in that kind of top three key defenders in the comp alongside Taylor and Harris Andrews. Scotty says the Carlton tax. There's some selections here that I don't vibe with. But of course that is a natural thing, right? I think there's just in a few cases, and I see Sam Taylor. Sam Darcy. I see Riley Tilthorpe. I see Hayden Young. I see a few too many players here. I see Mitch Georgiades. I see a few of them selected based on their potential. And that shouldn't be what the list is based on. It should be based on where they're at right now. And so Finn Callahan I toss in there as being, maybe you're a smidge too high because you haven't delivered it consistently enough yet. At the end of the season, you pull 2 years of it together? Sure. Harley Biscup asks, whomst do I think is the next closest cat to make the list? I think Tom Stewart's been dudded, but clearly Kane doesn't really value the defenders for the most part. Tom Stewart's been absolutely robbed here. I think Tom Stewart's the big one. Isaac Rankin is there, Flash. Isaac Rankin is 21st. Just after Max Holmes. I know Errol Goulden's there. I'm just looking for some of the more notable players. Jack Gunston at 27. I know he had a great season last year and really kind of exploded back into relevance again when he was on the verge of being delisted. But yeah, I don't know about that one either. But I'll give him credit. He played an amazing season last year. There's some great players here. Scotty says, "Where's Polkinghorn?" Give him time, mate. At the end of 2027, you watch him feature in this thing because I need to see more than one season. Yeah, Sputicus says Hayden Young hasn't proved anything yet. Yeah, I agree. Like his ceiling is enormous. He's an unbelievably talented footballer, but he's spent a lot of time injured. I don't think he's earned that 26. But again, it's all subjective. Zach Merritt's cap, says Scotty Tompkins. Yeah, I don't rate Zach Merritt. I would take, and I go back to our draft board from last year, which I can see just sitting off screen here. I would take Zach Butters. I'd take Sam Walsh over Zach Merritt any day of the week. Connor Rosie at 35 is high. He's a great leader, but that's high. There's Richards at 13 is high. Cozzy at 12. I think if he does it for another year is probably pretty appropriate. Because I think the thing that's missing for Cozzy right now is there's still some consistency concerns. He's so dynamic, he's so explosive, but I don't think it still happens all the time. But Scotty says, I'm a baller and I respect Kano for his commitment to rage bait. Look, it's absolutely, anytime, and again, I think about the Mike Sheehan's and the Mark Robinsons, and whenever the top 50 list would come out through the Herald Sun, the noise and the conversation that would stir was always huge. So good on him for having a bit of fun with it. Harley Reid, where you got him? Definitely not in the top 50. Doesn't belong there yet. Anyway, again, if we're talking potential, he's probably in there. But we're talking about what they've delivered. Otherwise, we talk potential. Dan Menzel should have been in a whole bunch of lists years ago, but he kept doing his ACL and couldn't play. All right. So that is the list. Moving on from here to another point of conversation around Channel 7 and Kane Corns, and the full list of AFL commentators for Channel 7 has been revealed, with Shane Crawford joining the team in 2026 and some other changes as well. And they're getting a bit self-indulgent here. Football's number one commentary team. I didn't realise that they were commentating for KO or Fox. Is primed to bring fans an unrivaled 2026 AFL season live and free on 7 and streamed on 7 Plus Sport. With a focus on integrating current day players into match coverage, 7 welcomes back 425 game player and 6-time All-Australian Scott Pendlebury to the expert chair for select rounds throughout the season. In the season, he looks to break the all-time games played record in AFL VFL history. The man affectionately known as Pendles will provide unrivaled expertise alongside 7's experienced team as expert commentator throughout the year. He's also probably chasing a bit of extra money for all that money that was stolen off him late last year. Following guest appearances in 2025, Pendlebury's first shift for 2026 will come in round 1 when Melbourne takes on St Kilda on Sunday, March 15th from 2:30 on 7 and 7 Plus. In an exciting announcement for Fox footy fans, 7's 2026 commentary team will also feature Hawthorn legend and Channel 7 House of Wellness star Shane Crawford. In 2026, 7 also welcomes back football's most star-studded... Oh, I hate this talk. It's so PR. Fuck off. Anyway, BT, James Brayshaw, Hamish McLaughlin, and Alistair Nicholson are all returning. Joining those calls is now recruit and Triple M star Jack Heverin, who does a fantastic job. He'll be part of 7's coverage on select Sundays. 7 will also broadcast more Sunday night games than ever before this season, kicking off with St Kilda versus Collingwood in opening round on Sunday, March 8th. Expert commentators Kane Corns, Luke Hodge, Abby Holmes, Nick Rewalt, Matthew Richardson, Daisy Pearce, Dale Thomas and Joel Selwood return, while Kate McCarthy, Erin Phillips, Chad Wingard, Cameron Ling, Joe Botson, Campbell Brown and Jude Bolton will feature regularly across the season. We're getting a few photos now. Beck Madden, who just then gets cited in the very next paragraph. Your Mitch Clearys and Xander Maguires, Theo Doropoulos, Kate Macy, Ryan Daniels. We've got, and we're now starting to get into some of the different states and what they're planning. Agenda setters, an unfiltered return, extra time, Sunday footy feast, front bar, lots of stuff. But one of the things that does interest me is a documentary that's going to come out about Dennis Committee this year. I do like what they're doing there. A lot of respect to them. Jake's just popped in saying 23 people watching, but the video only has 12 likes. Come on, people. Absolutely. If you're watching, drop a like on this video now, please. But I love what they're looking to do for Dennis Committee. A documentary about his impact on this industry would be awesome. And I guaranteed I'm going to sit and watch it. Grind Mars, says Shadu. All right. And that's about it. I'm done kind of pumping up Channel 7. They're not much good. All right. Let's get into some other topics of conversation here because we are running long. Jeremy Cameron, let's talk about his injury at the moment, his quad injury, his chances for opening round. It seems like it's kind of 50-50 at the moment. And honestly, if that's the case, I would probably rather him not play, look after him, get him right. Geelong as a club typically doesn't take risks like that. So I suspect the outcome will be, unless he really, dominates on the track and gets over it, then I suspect he won't play, which will have an enormous impact. Shannon Neale is obviously coming along in leaps and bounds. He put in a great performance during the preseason match against Hawthorn the other day, kicked 4 goals. But it's going to hurt. Like you can't cover up the Coleman medalist in any way, shape, or form. But it might be a good opportunity for the likes of Ollie Henry to come back in, who played a great game in that scratch match as well. There's lots of good stuff there, in terms of players there that can come in and have an impact. But will it be enough to get a win? That remains to be seen. Ben asks, are we seeing the first signs of an aging Jezza? No, he's had injuries in the last few years. I think about 2021 when he arrived, hamstrings. You thought, oh no, what have we picked up here? He came good. No, nothing to see. But will he reach the couple other prompting questions for Ben is, will he reach the 300 games this year? So he needs to play 20 games to do that. I don't see any reason why not. But if he doesn't, so be it. And what does the future look like for Geelong's forward line when he hangs up the boots? Well, I mean, he's talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years when he was interviewed, and we put together a video scrambling in panic about it. But Shadu says, I didn't know Jezza had quads on those chicken legs. It's a decent point too. But what does it look like? Shannon Neale's going to be a big part of it. And then you see the others that are coming through, your Jacob Molliers and those sorts of guys who are showing a lot of potential. And are going to have a couple more years to develop before they're required to even step up. Assuming they make it, they're going to have a couple of years still before they need to step up and be a prominent member of that forward line. So they've got time. There's nothing really to see here. But that's Jeremy Cameron. Next, we'll scroll over as we talk here about the scratch match. We'll revisit the scratch match there. Between the Cats and the Hawks the other day. We've got a few photos that we'll scrub through as we talk here. But we'll talk about some of the comments from James Riley, who summarised a few of the key points. He talks about Jay Polkinghorne, who Scotty referenced before, and could be one of those great forwards for us in the future as well. He put his hand up in a big way, played some fantastic football. As Cats fans, as Hoops Crew community members, we've been very big on what he's potential has been throughout the course of 2025, and he's continuing to deliver nice and early. So I hope that nets out with opportunity for him nice and soon, either in lieu of Jeremy Cameron's absence or just somewhere down the road. Better keep scrolling through these photos. Plenty of photos come from it. Lots of good looking football being played by the Cats, but very inexperienced relative to the Hawks on the day. James Riley continues. He talks about all the young guys that he thought were looking pretty strong. He cites Ollie Henry has been working really hard on his game, and he's really gotten a lot fitter and is covering the ground really well. But then he also speaks about James Warple. He says, Warple, has been fantastic since he's come to the club, and he's actually a really strong leader. As if on cue, there he is. And you'd expect that. At his age, he's been around, he's played a lot of football. At the Hawks, you'd expect him to demonstrate that leadership straight away, but he's a future leader. Look at that jaw. George Stevens looks like he's ready to kill someone here. We'll keep scrubbing through. Mitch Edwards, obviously a big deal with his progression this year. Shadu says the shorts look tight. I don't know which player you're referring to, but I hope you and anyone else potentially appreciate short shorts. If you enjoy short shorts on AFL players, bask in it, everyone. Gary pops in and says, if Ablett was God, then maybe Jezza is short for Jesus. We can see Tommy Stewart just enjoying a bit of a rest. Just put the feet up. No need to waste your time on games such as this. One of the big takeaways for me was Ollie Dempsey spending more time in the midfield and doing a really good job there. Obviously, we've spoken a bit about how his body's come along, how he's really grown. That's going to seemingly continue, and he's going to get more midfield opportunities as a result. So I think that's great. George Stevens is a nice play on words from both Harley and Flash. I like your creativity there. That's fantastic. We'll keep going. Brian Myers with his hand in ice. Jack Bowes being looked after there. We'll speed up a little bit now through a few of these. See if there's any particular highlights along the way. I'll also say it. James Sicily is still a grub. You can actually see Warple with a bit of a smile on his face when he when he got wrapped up by a former teammate that was holding the ball. You can see a little smile on the face there. And we must be near the end. 57 out of 69. Nice. There we go. Bit of Hunter. And there we go. We've got our high-flying young Jay Polkinghorne getting up about. And also, there was several other really great... And there's Joe Pike. Stay tuned for a video tomorrow about Joe. Ben, the videos are on the back end. Do your work. Get to work. Hunter X Holmes. Scotty says, real motherfuckers remember Jed Lamb's generational performance against Sicily. Gary also says, I think our team could use a grub every now and then. There's some merit to it. I don't mind even just the sort that's just a bit lippy and just antagonise and prompt opposition players to do something stupid. But yeah, there's something to be said for kind of the rough housing and a bit of a grub there as well. So those are some photos from the match sim the other day. Let's jump across and talk about some rule changes. And we're not going to spend too much time with these. We'll quickly summarise those and chat. Keen to hear your thoughts on some of these. Ben, you've given me such an incredibly long run of show tonight. You're driving me mad, mate. I'm going to save the pass marks thing for our next show. In fact, I'm going to save the rules for our next show as well. Let's talk about topic 5 here. So Geelong Carlton, the upcoming pre-season game. So we'll bounce across to our next link. The first look, the AFL Community Series practice match between Geelong and Carlton. Geelong is set for their final tune-up ahead of the 2026 AFL season, set to head up the highway for their AFL Community Series practice match. The Cats will take on Carlton at Icon Park next Wednesday, with the game set to commence at 7:10 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. It will be the final chance for some of Geelong's emerging talents to put their best foot forward, while more experienced players will be looking to get some match practice under their belt, with the opening round looming large against the Gold Coast Suns. With plenty of exciting storylines to keep an eye on as proceedings unfold, take a look at everything you need to know ahead of Geelong's clash with Carlton. As we said, Wednesday the 25th, 7:10. How to get tickets. Club members, AFL members, and kids under the age of 14 will have free general admission access to the 2026 AFL Community Series. General admission for non-members, $20 for adults, reserved seating for 30, 10 for kids at venues with applicable seating options. While general admission access for kids under 14 is free, they must redeem a ticket in advance of the match. Any child without a pre-redeemed ticket will not be permitted access to the match. So you can go to Ticketmaster and check all that out. Here's our match format. 4 quarters by 20 minutes, plus time on, as per the normal AFL Premiership season. We'll have squads of 30, 18 on the field, 8 on the bench, and 4 emergencies. Minimum of 4 players on the interchange bench during the match at any time. There's no interchange cap, and full panel of umpires will be appointed by the AFL. All matches in the 2026 AAMI Community Series will be broadcast live through Foxtel, while also being streamed on KO Sports. Secure a Digital Plus membership. That's a promotion for club membership here. That'll get you access to that to KO to watch it. There'll also be a live blog on the club's official website. And that's about it. Let's move on from that one as we start to wrap things up. Ben, I hope you're taking notes about the segments I'm skipping tonight. Because we'll come back to things like pass marks for AFL players in a week from now, once we've actually finished the player previews. We will, though, take a moment to look at Ben's top 10 Geelong. He says top 10. He's created a list of 20, though. Ben's top 20 Geelong defenders this century. Now, chat, I'm looking for you to go after Ben for this. Let me see if I can... I'm just going to read the names off. Let's sit back, relax, get cozy, and pick through the 20 names that Ben has come up with. At number 20, having played 212 AFL games, he's picked Josh Hunt. Mark O'Connor is at number 19 with 147 games so far. Tim Bluey McGrath with 226 games is number 18. Sam De Koning at number 17 with 85 games to his name. Zach Guthrie, 128 games so far, is in 16th place. Jed Buse with 175 is 15th. Jake Collar-Jasny, keep in mind he does say this century, not of all time. Jake Collar-Jasny is 14th with 198 games. Jack Henry, 13th with 164. Tom Harley, former captain of the club, premiership captain, 198 games, is 12th. Andrew Mackie, number 11 with 280 games. At 10, we've got Darren Milburn. Scotty, keen to hear your thoughts on Darren Milburn. 292 games. Tom Lonergan, 209. Big Benny Graham, 219 games at number 8. Mark Blitzarves, I guess he spent a good chunk of time playing in defence. 295 games so far, is ranked 7th. Matty Egan will be a controversial one because this is a bit like the Kane Corns list, right? Potential. But obviously injury derailed his career. Matty Egan is number 6, having played only 59 games in his career. There we go. Scotty's called him Darren Milbum. Zach Tui is 5th with 288 games. Harry Taylor, 4th, 280. Tom Stewart, 191 in 3rd. Corey Enright with 332 AFL games is 2nd. And number 1 is Matthew Scarlett. Now, I will 100% back Ben in for the top 4 in the order that he's listed them. So, Matty Scarlett, Corey Enright, Tom Stewart, and Harry Taylor. After that point, things start to get a bit wobbly in my eyes. Zach Tui's been a fantastic servant of the Cats, having come across from Carlton, and probably belongs in the top 10. But I think there's some players that are both underrated and overrated. Cats fans, Hoops Crew viewers, chat, share some of those thoughts in the chat right now. I think Andrew Mackie's been sold a little bit short. I'm not saying he's a top 5, but I think he's been sold a little bit short. Mark Blitzarves is a really tricky one because it's hard to kind of judge him as a midfielder or a ruckman. Is he a wingman? Does he play in defence? He's played lots of time in defence. I'll give him pass. He belongs in the list, but I think because he's shared that role so much, he's probably a smidge high. Tom Lonergan, I think, is probably being sold a bit short, as is Darren Milburn. Matty Egan, I think, needs to slide because of the injuries. Zach Tui is top 10, but I think needs to slide from 5th a little bit. It's a tricky one. And there's also a lot of our players who are still midway through their career kind of make up the back end of that 20. And so there's still a bit of potential. Brendan's just shouted out Tim McGrath. I don't know if... I think this is the first time I've seen your name pop up so far tonight, Brendan. Ben placed Bluey at 18th spot. So to quickly read out those names and please discuss further in the chat, especially as we're going to get into our game of the show next. Josh Hunt is 20th, Mark O'Connor 19th, Tim McGrath 18th, 17th is Sam De Koning, 16th is Zach Guthrie, 15th Jed Buse, 14th Jake Collar-Jasny, 13 Jack Henry, 12 is Tom Harley, 11 Andrew Mackie, 10 Darren Milburn, 9 Tom Lonergan, 8 Ben Graham, 7 Mark Blitzarves, 6 Matty Egan, 5 Zach Toohey, 4 Harry Taylor, 3 Tom Stewart, 2 Corey Enright, and number 1 is Maddie Scarlett. I would like to see and hear your thoughts. And I'll put it out there now. I normally go for some super chat goals when we get into game night, and we will do game night after this. There's going to be more of The Last of Us. I think it was a super chat that got us the top 10 draft years. I'll do my top 10 defenders if we hit if someone drops a $10 super chat. $10 super chat, and we'll do a top 10 list, and we won't have to wait till the end of the season for it to happen. Ben and I have got a format now that works a bit better. So, Harley Biscuit says, Nathan Kruger top 10. Darren's popped in saying, what injury does Jeremy Cameron have? I've heard no news or information. It's a quad. He's got a quad injury at the moment. Scotty says it was a chat GPT list. I wouldn't even rule it out. But yeah, that's Ben's top 10, top 20 Geelong defenders of this century. I will do a list of my own if a $10 super chat comes in, and that will go towards the pool for tonight around game night. That will extend the show, the game night stream as well afterwards if we hit our usual goals in that respect. All right, our next segment here is our game of the show, so bear with me for a moment as I get all of that set up. We'll jump across to a full screen thing here where we're going to discuss a game from an independent studio. Their name is Ember Lab. They put together their debut game. It came out in 2021. It was called Kana Bridge of Spirits. And if anyone appreciates good quality animation in anything, games, film, TV, whatever, then you'll appreciate what you see here. This is Pixar quality stuff. Funnily enough, the two leads of the studio used to work at Pixar. They departed and they put together their debut video game. It was a phenomenal video game, and out of nowhere, during a PlayStation showcase last week, a sequel got announced, and I nearly died because it's one of the games I was most hoping would get announced this year. It is, and it's coming out this year. Let's take a look at Kana and its sequel. No, come on. Screen share, there we go. This is Kana Scars of Cosmora.
I sense suffering here, Spirit. Do you need help?
A spirit guide? It's been a long time since we've had one of your kind,
This is how it
Cosmora.
looks in gameplay, by the way.
I'm glad you're here.
And you'll see it shortly, actually.
That temple has been sealed as long as I can remember. Dangerous corruption was locked inside, along with the secrets of a forgotten practice. Spirit guides here once used alchemy to cleanse corruption. Maybe you can do the same.
Beautiful. Look at
Fear will bind you, gripping to the present, which must always pass. Regret will bind you, longing for the past you cannot change. Love will bind you, yearning for a future you will not see. May you depart in peace.
And that is Kana, Scars of Cosmora, a gorgeous piece of art, and I'm very excited to play it later in the year. Hopefully you are too now that you've seen it. Again, that's like Pixar level stuff. It's incredible. All right. Let's start to wind things down. Got the opportunity there. Chats, super chats. If you want to get our top 10 defenders list going, utilize that super chat functionality. Harley says, Paul, this looks epic. Cheers for putting it on my radar. Please, like Harley, take the opportunity if you haven't already. The game is called Kana Bridge of Spirits. It's the previous one. It came out in 2021. Phenomenal game. It's on, these days it's on like everything, but it was started on PlayStation and then eventually went elsewhere. This one, PlayStation's actually getting involved with the team to help them make it, which makes me think it's probably going to remain exclusive on PlayStation. It's coming to PS5 and PC, but I don't see it coming across to Xbox or Switch or anything like that. Flash says, the girl character is giving me Horizon Zero Dawn vibes. So Aloy, I can see it. I can definitely see it. But there's a few differences. But again, that's, I guess, like I've been there and done it. So please, if you haven't played it and you like what you're seeing, it's available now, the original game, Kana Bridge of Spirits. It's fantastic. And it'll take you about 8 to 10 hours. So it's, as far as video games are concerned, it's not too long. And it'll be very reasonably priced. I can't check the price because I already own it, but it's definitely worth checking out. Jackie's just dropped a super chat in there. I'll make sure that I update the graphic when we... oh, that's not working for me. Sorry, Jackie's just dropped a super chat in there, $2 super chat. Thank you for that, Jackie. And says SC for a proper top 10. So super chat for a proper top 10. No Wojo is a crime, Ben. So Jackie, I'd be curious to know your thoughts here. Would Wojo belong in the top 10 if it was just a top 10? If I sat here and just read Ben's top 10 and not the fact that he gave me 11 through 20 as well, would you be concerned that he wasn't in the top? Would you be concerned if he wasn't in the top 10? Or is it more of a... Wojo's definitely a top 20 player, for example. Because I would agree. I believe he belongs in the top 20. But I think top 10 would be stretching it. But yeah, thank you, Jackie, for that. The $2 is amazing. If we get to $10, I'll do the top 10 defenders video, and it'll be a nice timely one. I promise everyone. Oshadu's providing some scores here from preseason game that's going at the moment. Saints pulled away 42-26. I think they're against the Gold Coast right now, if that's right. Jackie says definitely top 20. Would have to think regarding your top 10. Yeah, I think it's probably pushing at top 10 from my mind, but top 20 I think it's definitely a worthwhile conversation. And Gary also says, Shadu, you pinched my thunder. Hit that thumbs up, you wowzers. Prime Papaya, who I think is popping in for the first time tonight. I haven't seen. I hope Jeremy Cameron is fit. He's a fantastic player, and I want to see the top players for every team. Absolutely. You want to be playing the best players whenever you get the opportunity. And as much as Geelong is obviously going to be better off for it when we play against the Gold Coast to not have for them to not have Matty Rowell, it's kind of disappointing. You want to beat the best teams in the most difficult of circumstances to prove your credentials. And so I would love to see Jeremy Cameron out there, and I would love to see Matty Rowell out there, and we just then try and get the job done. Oh, Prime Papaya said he used to be Laughing Magpie. Okay, that is a name I'm definitely familiar with. Why the change? Did you not want to align yourself with the Magpies because they were asking for money in your will? Because that's a topical one. Flash has just dropped another $2, so we're now $4 towards that 10 that'll get us a top 10 list, and I'll guarantee it'll be a timely thing. Flash says Bluey needs to be higher. Add Brendan Sanderson and Andrew Mackie higher. I think there's some. I think I can agree with all of those. How much higher for Bluey is an interesting point of conversation, and certainly, I guess a lot of he kind of straddles that century line, which probably makes it a little bit more complicated in some ways. But I won't argue with Brendan Sanderson featuring the list and Andrew Mackie needing to be higher. But we'll see if we get that top 10 list going. So we're only $6 away from that now. Then I'm going to have to really sit and think about it. It's easy to sit here and cast my thoughts about what Ben has produced, but putting together my own list, it's a whole other beast. Thank you, Flash, for that super chat contribution, though. We are pretty much at the end of our time for the show tonight. Immediately following this, hang on, here we go. Prime Papaya says, no, it was because McLaren got the championship in both areas for the first time. I've supported them, and only the second time in my life last year. Spartacus says, George Stevens not being on the list is criminal. George Stevens, noted defender. Nothing to do with Willgate. Thank you for clarifying. Game night is up next, so if you want to continue to talk football, give me a few minutes. We are very soon going to transfer over to game night, where we're going to be continuing on with The Last of Us Part 1. And I'm looking forward to continuing to play that with you. We'll talk Last of Us, we'll talk games, but we're definitely going to talk a lot of football as well. The typical mode there is that as we hit $20 worth of super chats, we add time to the stream, and we up to and no more than an hour. Shout out to Kerry, if you're watching, who's been a huge supporter of the game nights in the past and has ensured that most of them have gone a full 2 hours, and I've been very sleep deprived for work the next day. But of course, the goal of hitting $10 will be baked in along the way as well, and that'll get us our top 10 defenders video, and then hopefully we extend beyond that and extend the stream for the night and just continue to have fun and talk football. So that is the plan immediately after this. Please make sure, if you haven't already, like this video, subscribe to the Hoops Crew on YouTube. There's lots of awesome stuff from myself, Ben, and the chaps. We hope that you check it all out. This week, or in the next week coming up, there's going to be more player previews. Joe Pikes will go live tomorrow. We've got Jack Henry and Zach Guthrie that I've also recorded. That will be Saturday and Sunday. And then we're in the final stretch. Killian Burke, Mark O'Connor, Tom Stewart, Brad Close, Mark Blitzarves will be wrapping all of these previews up. By the time we go to the Paul James Show next Thursday, I will have already recorded the final one. And that's exciting because I can get some time back. It's been a lot. I guess I've done, 38 players so far. And Jack Henry, yeah. We've done a lot of players so far, anyway, because I think there's a number that's missed along the way. We've done about 38 players so far, times by about 9 to 10 minutes for each one. Spent a lot of time here recording them. It's been a time, but anyway, I've been enjoying it. That's the key thing. I've been really enjoying it, and I hope that you've all been enjoying it as well. So the player previews will continue to roll out. Spartacus says new goals: keep Paul awake and get him going to work looking like he's been on the nose beers with Baz. Who says I need your donations to get on the nose beers with Baz? At what point did I regret starting the player previews? The point I regretted them was because I had a nice little backlog initially. Was when I'd really kind of gotten into things with work, and responsibilities of being a year level leader started to kick in, and I was suddenly getting home at 5:30 at night, maybe even later on a couple of instances. And you get straight into family routines of getting everyone fed, getting kids in bath, getting kids to bed, then trying to get back in here and record some more, spending some time with my wife because, I don't want to be a stranger to her, doing my games work, the streams, these sorts of, it was going, oh my God, there's just so, and all of the games content I produce as well. It was at that point I'm going, almost bit off a bit too much here. Probably should have started them a few weeks prior. But anyway, We're about to get to the end of them. I'm exhausted. I'm loving doing it, but I am tired. Shadu asks, have you ever had to go to a school camp? Do teachers go wild at camp? This is a trick question. This is a loaded question that could get colleagues of mine or myself in trouble. No, everything is so documented and there's so many processes and things tied to it. And look, I won't speak for the new system now that I'm in the private system. Who knows? Maybe it's a wild party. I actually don't have any this year. My year level, there was some administration stuff, and for some reason, my year 10s that I lead don't have a camp this year. And it was all administration stuff before I'd even started. While every other year level leader has a camp that they're running or leading or attending or whatever, and I'm missing out. So fun. I've been to a few camps, but they've all been like year 12 study retreats at the beginning of the year, and they've been great experiences. They've been very relaxed. They've been very chill. So like, it's not really been teachers going wild, but it's actually been, you've been able to just speak to them as essentially one adult to another. They're basically of that age, one adult to another. So, the relationship thing you can really lean into and have proper conversations, and then that builds that bucket of goodwill that I think helps you get through the entire year. So I really enjoyed attending those at both my previous schools before this one. And who knows, like in due course, once I've established myself at my new place, I hopefully get to attend some of those. But as a year level leader of another cohort, maybe I won't be able to because I'm required elsewhere. I don't know. It's all Sputicus says, Paul at camp, let's get absolutely shit-faced peeps. Again, this is part of talking to them as adults, right? It's like, you're not going to tell on me that we're having a beer? No, I'm kidding. I don't actually do that. It's a joke. Yeah, I wish I could really just completely loosen up, even just to sit back and have quiet ones. But you're on the clock, and as all of you would know, when you're actually on the clock in whatever your industry happens to be, it's usually, depends on the industry, but usually looked down upon when you're drinking on the job. So it's not something that I've made a habit of doing, and don't see myself doing anytime soon. But you're trying to trick me with these questions. Gary, thank you. Gary says, Paul, keep up the good work. I find you the pick of the hoops crew. I do appreciate that, mate. Sport's always great. And it's been good. Like, I know you and I differ on a few points of conversation. I know we differed a little bit in the chat, in the comment section of my Paddy Dangerfield video the other day. And it's nice when you and others in the community will challenge some of my thoughts. Sputicus says, I smoke harder than Snoop. It's nice when you all kind of pop in and challenge some of the ideas that I've got, because I think it brings out the best in all of us, right? But yeah, that's it for the night. So the schedule for the week, as I said, the player previews are going to continue to roll out. On Monday night, it'll be the Chaps Chat Cats live once again. Wednesday, Ben's got Show Us Your Tips. And Thursday, the Paul James Show is due to return. But I actually don't know how that's going to work. And I messaged Ben before the show. And as per usual, and Ben, I hope you're hearing this, and he gives me a clip. Because I'm giving him a clip here, sorry. Next Thursday, I am taking my wife and kids to Ed Sheeran. For my 5-year-old and 7-year-old, this is like the greatest experience of their life coming up. They are so unbelievably excited for it. I've taken my wife to Ed Sheeran a couple times over the past. She's loved it. Looking forward to doing it again next Thursday, but it means that I won't be available during our normal Paul James Show time. Ben's been talking about a post-game live on the Wednesday, so I don't exactly know. There's some scheduling stuff to come. There'll be some updates on the schedule coming forward. Shadu also says, so close to Linkin Park. I am so unbelievably hyped for Linkin Park around the Labor Day weekend here in Victoria. All right. Thank you to everyone who's kept the conversation going over the course of the night. It's been a lot of fun. Please, and Shadu's been posting it. It'll also be in the comment section. Use the link to our Discord where you can continue that conversation. Most people who I've seen in the chat tonight are a part of our Discord community, and they're all an incredible bunch. So please get in there, except Scotty. There you go. Shadu's just posted the Discord link. Except Scotty. He's a bit of a dog, but he's a Carlton supporter, so we understand. So jump into our Discord, hang out, chat throughout the week. It's an ongoing thing. It's not tied to any shows. You can get in there and talk about whatever football topics you're keen to discuss. And there's plenty of areas for off-topic conversation as well. I'll be back nice and soon. Thank you all for watching. Remain Geelong strong. Game night is to begin momentarily. Thank you all, and I'll see you next time. Right, let's get back into it. We're about to sit down and play some of The Last of Us. I need to be very mindful again of not breaking other embargoes here, and this is always a technical challenge because I need to get access to a source, and I can't do that, so let me, thankfully right now, thankfully right now, I can just project this on a different source for a moment, and then I'll go back to full screen and talk to you all as I boot into the game, and we'll continue on with some Last of Us Part 1. All right. Now we can go to the full screen treatment. Chat, if you're still here, looking forward to talking footy, talking video games, talking anything, everything. We're at $4 so far donated tonight, so the stream is currently due to conclude at 10:30. Every $20 we hit adds 30 minutes up to an hour. We're not exceeding that. It is just too much. But I'm looking forward to getting into it. Let's keep going. I need to project that full screen on my end so I can get my ugly mug out of the way. Where are we? Game capture. Boom. There we go. Now I can see more clearly. I also, because I'm a dirty trophy whore, need to get my PSN profiles. Not the Ghost of Yote guide. Games. The Last of Us. Get into the museum here.
Okay, how do we get out of this place?
Let's find out.
So if you're still bouncing around here in the chat, we'd love to hear your thoughts on The Last of Us and footy and whatever else. And if you've been around already for the first hour and change from the Paul James Show, definitely keen to hear some of your thoughts on some of the topics of discussion earlier.
I was in this military boarding school.
You'd sneak out?
You know, explore the city. I was in the mall when I ran into infected.
That place is completely off limits. How the hell did you get in there?
I had my ways. Anyways, one of those what you guys call runners, bit me, and that was that.
I see. Were you with Marlene when you were bitten?
No. I went to her for help afterwards.
Knowing her, I'm surprised she didn't shoot you.
That's right, the workbench.
Hope she's alright.
I told you. She's gonna be fine.
No, I've already upgraded. I did the upgrades at the end of last time. And I went in here and I picked up... Oh, hello. I got pills. Right. Let's get into it. Which door? A few busts. It's a bit busty in here. Hey, Carrie's just popped in. I think I didn't see you. I didn't see you in the chat this time last week. When we got to the game night, I didn't see you in the Paul James show, but I don't know. Be keen to hear your thoughts here because I've been chatting to Ben about I guess the best way to implement.
Sorry, that was me.
Tess.
Sorry.
The best way to implement
Close to me.
the game nights. And our current model is that now that I'm kind of into my live Paul James show stuff, that we can kind of roll from one show straight into the other and maintain the same stream. But I'd be curious to know if you feel like two separate streams, one transitioning to the other, might work better, similar to what we did when we were doing Summer Series, because Ben was the host, so we needed to have the break.
Shit.
It's an old museum. Some of these things.
Oh, you were just busy last week.
Really?
That's also a pretty good excuse. But I would be keen to hear your thoughts. Do you think it works better as two separate streams, one that just boots straight into the other, or do we keep one stream going and roll in?
All right, watch your head.
What do you think would work best for you? And then potentially we can extrapolate that to others.
I'm alive. I'll make my way around.
They're here!
Tess?
Run!
Tess?
One down. I just don't want to waste all my shivs, which I've just used 2 of. So the next one, I think I just need to blow its brains out. Or, you know... Just not disturb it? Is an option? All right. There's no other infected wandering around.
Tess. Tess. Shit.
Oh, shiv door. Shiv door. Shiv door. Shiv door. Also, I'm worried that I might have... According to this, I might have even just walked past or missed a firefly pendant. So I might just have to wander through that space. Thankfully now, clicker free. Oh, I hope. Just trying to work out where apparently there's a firefly pendant around here somewhere. Does seem like I'm in the right general area according to the screenshot I'm looking at. When I wandered... Damn it. What is going on? I reckon I've missed one. Hang on, I should be able to check. Michael Kipper. I've missed him. Damn it.
I'm fine. Guys, get in here!
That's a lie, Tess. there's an optional conversation here that I'm going to get, but I've missed the collectible, unfortunately.
Tess, how are you holding up?
Just a bit winded. Look this way. This will get us to the roof.
How about you, kid? You okay?
Define okay.
Are you still breathing?
Do small panic breaths count?
Yeah, they count.
Right. I'm okay.
I definitely forgot my sprint button, so I was just kind of walking through that space. I forgot that it was mapped to L1. Well, Kerry, if you missed last week's one, make sure to check out the Paul James show from last week. Hopefully, maybe you already have, but because we did another hour or so of The Last of Us then as well. Right, so it's kind of capital building time. It annoys me because I've clearly missed a collectible.
There she is.
That shits me to
That's our
tears.
building.
And I need to make a note of it, actually. I have nothing to write on. Thanks, Elgato, for the camera and the cardboard that I can scribble on. So, museum. Because I might go pick up this one off camera at some point. Firefly pendant. Number 5. Right. We're on to the Capitol building now.
Stand back.
Hang on, let me just put this down. Doing the puzzle, walk past the set of stairs, the artifact will be next to a dead body. Wait. I went up, didn't I? I came in from here. I've just got myself... Yeah, I came in from here. Damn it. Back upstairs. That's why we need yellow paint, everyone. Dog's cracking the shits.
Alright. Now watch your step as you're going out, because it's going to be a little...
Covering up your bites there, Tess.
So is that everything you hoped for?
Jury's still out. But man, can't deny that view.
Iconic.
Come on, this way. Hey, let's pick it up.
Why ever would you be suddenly rushing us, Tess?
Look, we're almost done. Stay focused.
Yes, ma'am.
It's right around this corner. Come on.
Right, we're into the museum segment
moving
now. Sorry, no, the Capitol building segment, I should say.
Look at this.
There's a firefly logo on his arm. What if we get there and they're all dead?
They won't be.
But how do you know?
I just do. Look, it's gonna...
How many minutes added for $1,000 super chat? If $1,000 came in, Ben, I'd probably have to play until, let's say, 3 a.m. So we get about a 5-hour long stream. It goes from being an hour to 5 hours. I know that's not proportionate with the rest of the goal, but I do need to still work tomorrow. But we'll go to, if $1,000 super chat came in, I'd go till 3 a.m. Kerry says, or 500. If 500 came in, I'll look at that point. It's all magnitudes, right? Like, do I just halve and go 130? If $500 came in, I'd go till, what time did we start? We started at 10:30. No, sorry, we started at 9:30. So let's say I'd tap out at 1 a.m. 1 a.m. for $500. $1,000 is, oh, there's nothing. $1,000 is 3 a.m. I know that's becomes $250 an hour, but a point has to come along where I would start to value. I need to value my beauty sleep. I say that, and Kerry then goes, "What about $5 grand? $5 grand.
Up and over.
$5 grand. I'd probably just go all night. Maybe with toilet breaks and those sorts of things, some little pauses. But
There we go.
$5 grand. I have to just put an all-nighter, which is problematic because I'm trying to drive to Echuca tomorrow night after work. But I'll do it. I'll just sit in the passenger seat and my wife can drive for a bit while I try and sleep. There's where we're at. $500 is 1 a.m. $1,000 is 3 a.m. And if $5 grand came in, we just go all night.
Just so it's out there, I can't swim.
Like, it looks like
But I expect none of those will happen, so I think I can make these declarations
I'm glad
comfortably.
Marlon hired you guys.
What do you mean?
I know you guys are getting paid for this. But, trying to
My
save
first goal at
face.
the moment is us hitting $10 because $10 gets us the top 10 defenders video, the far more definitive and accurate version as opposed to what Ben came up with. Let's go to this gazebo over here. You can wag school tomorrow for 5k. It's a pretty excellent point. I could wag school and then get that sleep. Problem is the evidence is there. The evidence is online. He wasn't sick at all.
No. No, no, no.
What happens now?
What are you doing, Tess?
Maybe they had a map or something to tell us where they were going.
How far are we gonna take
As
this?
far as it needs to go. Where was this lab of theirs?
Oh, she never said. She
Look
only
around the neck,
mentioned that it was
everybody.
someplace out west.
What are we doing here? This is not us.
What do you know about us? About me?
I know that you are smarter than this.
Really? Guess what? We're shitty people, Joel. It's been that way for a long time.
No, we are survivors.
This is our chance.
It is over, Tess! Now, we tried. Let's just go home.
I'm not going anywhere. This is my last stop.
What?
Our luck had to run out sooner or later.
You going on?
No, don't! Don't touch me.
Holy shit. She's infected.
Let me see.
I didn't mean for
Show it to me. Oh, Christ.
Oops, right? Give me your arm. This was 3 weeks. I was bitten an hour ago, and it's already worse. This is fucking real, Joel. You've got to get this girl to Tommy's. He used to run with this crew. He'll know where to go.
No. That was your crusade. I am not doing that.
Yes, you are. Look, there's enough here that you have to feel some sort of obligation to me, so you get her to Tommy's. They're here.
Damn it.
I can buy you some time, but you have to run.
You want us to just leave you here?
Yes.
There is no way that...
I will not turn into one of those things. Come on. Make this easy for me.
I can find...
No, just go! Just fucking go.
Ellie,
I'm sorry. I didn't mean for this.
get a move on.
We know you're in there. Drop your weapons and come out with your hands up.
What the fuck? I can't believe we did that.
Stop.
We just left her to die.
Stop. You stay close to me. We have to move.
Oh, man.
We'll go upstairs. Probably get up from there.
And that is the end of Tess. In a blaze of glory.
Just keep pushing forward.
Target neutralized. She took out 2 of my men. Copy that. You, take out the door. You, with me.
Yes, sir.
They're gonna be here soon. We should move.
I will so happily take these fuckers out. Though I probably shouldn't, right? They seem to have slowed down. Kira says you won't get a copy strike for playing this live on YouTube. No? We haven't for in other weeks. Look, there's one hiding behind the thing. They've only got eyes for me, so...
Piece of shit!
Come on, you prick. No, gameplay's never really much of an issue. We did so the last time I had some brief, and we'll actually see what comes up. I don't think I can check it live during the stream. We did cop a strike during the last one, but it was because of the music that I played in the transition between the Paul James show and then this, and it's because the music, I didn't realize it, but the music had been lifted from the HBO series, and the HBO series music got pinged. No, games are pretty safe when it comes to copyright strikes. It's kind of open season. They don't really care too much.
What do we do? Joel?
I got this. Keep your head down.
I'm moving up. On it. Watch out! Hey, he's over here. Get him!
Hello, goon, hiding up the back there. Right in the face.
All right, come on, Ellie.
Right behind you.
Bussy, I put it one short of normal just because of the streaming thing, not paying attention. I've already got myself exposed once or twice in previous streams where I wasn't really watching like I needed to be. So I'm just making it a little bit easier to kind of engage and chat and those sort of things. I've finished the game on normally, but I think this is, I don't know, what do they call it? I guess it's probably just easy for the next one down. You're probably noticing like the AI is not fantastic when I'm, or like, sorry, it's not that it's not fantastic, it's not challenging. Some supplements. Yeah, I mean, look, I haven't gone for like the, what's the top difficulty? Like I haven't gone for the really top end difficulties. It's called crushing in Uncharted. I can't remember what they called it in The Last of Us. It's right there on the tip of my tongue because I had a documentary named after it. It's gonna eat away at me until someone actually gives me the answer. Nah, Last of Us difficulties. Survivor, that's not what I'm looking for. Grounded is the top level. Now, normally I just play on normal, but so you got easy, normal, hard, survivor, and then grounded. Things like from survivor up, things like listen mode are disabled. Nah, I need the gaminess of it. It's too much. It's too much to not rely on that. Damn it! Was I going upstairs or downstairs?
What are we doing? Joel, how are we gonna get out of here?
Right, we're gonna go through that hall. Stay down, I don't know how many more there are.
This was the old demo from 2013. From here. 2013? Maybe 2012 for the original version of The Last of Us. And they showed off all the mechanics, the stealth, the gunplay. What a spectacle it was. And I'm going to do it a horrible disservice by just trying to walk through and massacre everyone.
No target. Hold your position.
Get out.
Stupid.
Oh yeah, I forgot the dumb alley AI that just
Son of a bitch.
got him before he made any noise. Got there quick. Saw the fastest speed run. It's 2 hours and 16 minutes. That's nuts. Thanks for popping in, Bussy. Look forward to seeing you for Paul James show or whatever stream you pop in next. No one's behind me. They're all kind of circling through here now. Damn, that was my chance. Just poked his head in. Back you come.
Don't be stupid.
Jeez.
Oh, no one right there. You just missed it all. I'm killing his mate and he had no idea. And now it's your turn, champ. Oh, not quite. It didn't come close enough. Damn it.
We can work something out, okay?
There's the exit.
I see it.
No.
Now we've got about 15 minutes to go. Keep in mind the usual super chat goal for game night. 20 minutes equals half an hour at $4 from some of the money that was contributed during the Paul James show tonight. So it only takes $16 for us to push on till 11 o'clock. Another another $20 after that. So a total of $40 for the night. We'll see us go through to 11:30. And then we've got some of the outlandish stuff that we were discussing with Kerry before, where if by some chance, by some miracle, we hit $500, it'll go to 1 a.m. and so on and so forth.
There's stairs over there.
Stay low.
Stay low.
Oh, Ben's just popped in for the first time tonight. Ben, how you going, mate? I see Sench Footy has been pinning some of your comments today.
Following us.
Run, Joel, run. Oh.
There's a soldier over there.
Copy that.
How the hell are you breathing in this stuff?
I wasn't lying to you.
Did you spot him? No, place is empty. I didn't see anything. Search the area. Let's find them and get the hell out of here before any clickers show up.
Take your pick, mate. You got no chance against me or the clickers. I'm more dangerous.
Fuck. I'm not here. You got me, okay?
Down you go. Up you come. You idiot. Anyone got ammo for me? No.
That was fucking close.
Thanks, Ellie. Oh, hang on, that was our way in. Get. Oh.
Hey, I can't swim.
We'll figure something out.
Artifact. $10 left to go in the stream, barring another $16 coming in through Super Chats
Hey,
tonight
look,
to
still works.
push us to
You're
20.
not gonna leave me here, right?
Oh, shut up, Ellie.
Just stay put.
Ellie.
I'm not going anywhere.
Oh. I'm an Eston player. Getting those supplements. See the Firefly logo. Oh no. I'm about to kill Joel. Oh, I'm about to kill Joel. Damn it. New school is going well. Funnily enough, there's significantly fewer dramas to deal with in
You're not gonna leave me here, right?
the in the private sector than there are in the public one. So while there was a lot that I loved about public, my days are easier now, and I can't complain about that, right?
Anything down there?
It's a dead end. There's a ladder. Maybe we can use that.
Yeah, most private... Oh, not paying attention. Most private school trouble happens outside of school, like on public transport. I mean, I presume it is. I guess where I'm teaching these days, like, and already I'm kind of not super close to any major city anyway. I'm in this beautiful sweet spot that is between, I've got Bendigo north, I've got Ballarat to the west, I've got Melbourne to the south, I've got Geelong to the southwest, and they're all kind of, you know, somewhere between 45 to an hour and 15, hour and 20 away. The public transport circumstances aren't amazing, and so for the most part, kids come to school and then they go home. They don't really have the resources where they are to kind of get up to too much mischief, which is good. Of course, you know, some will just roam the streets and be pains in the ass as well, but that's I mean, look, I see that in public, and I've seen it in public for years. Oh, there we go. She just wasn't climbing up before. Maybe I didn't leave it long enough. And I'm sure it'll be a thing in private as well. Climb up, Joel. Come on. You're better than that. Oh. Sorry, Ellie. No, I don't live in Geelong, Kerry. I guess it doesn't matter where I can disclose where I live now because I don't work in the same town that I live in.
Let's get out of here.
I live in Gisborne. So Massam Ranges. Yeah, like I said, good 45 minutes north of the city. And yeah, Bendigo's about another hour or so north of me. Ballarat, yeah, probably an hour to an hour 10 to the west. Geelong about an hour 10 to the southwest. And then Melbourne is a pretty convenient, practical distance away as well.
Hey, look, about Tess. I don't even know what
Here's how this thing's gonna play out. You don't bring up Tess. Ever. Matter of fact, we just keep our histories to ourselves. Secondly, don't tell anybody about your condition. They think you're crazy, they'll try to kill you. And lastly, you do what I say, when I say it. We clear?
Sure.
Repeat it.
What you say goes.
Good.
Good.
Now there's a town a few miles north of here. There's a fella there that owes me some favors.
Bill.
Good chance he could get us a car.
Okay.
Let's get a move on. Now there we go. Yeah, it'll be faster to go through here.
Man.
What?
Nothing, it's just... I've never seen anything like this, that's all.
You mean the woods?
Yeah. Never walked in the woods. It's kind of cool. Why don't you just take me back to Marlene?
If she was up to the task, why'd she drop you off on us?
Well, maybe she's better now.
Kid, I don't mean to upset you, but your friend's chances of survival weren't too high to begin with.
She's a lot tougher than you think.
It don't matter. Because I doubt I can get either one of us back into the sea in one piece. Trust me. I wish there was some other option.
All right. We'll wrap things up there because we've just kind of launched into the Billstown arc of the game. And in lieu of not having hit the $20 super chat thing, we'll pause things there. So yeah, we'll wrap things up. Ben does ask though before we wrap things up. He says, "How do you think Post Game Live will go this year?" Look, I'm looking forward to it growing, or hopefully growing. I think it'd be great if we can bring in some new regular names and regular faces, either live chatting with us, or in the chat. I think it'll be a really great opportunity there. It'll be cool to be kind of fronting it myself. The Paul James Show reduces to one show per week, so that I'm not doing live streams 3 times a week with 2 Paul James shows and then Post Game Live. Ben will take over the reins for Post Game Live from time to time. Like he's talking about doing it next Wednesday after the Geelong Carlton practice match. And he's talking about doing that, and he's thinking about doing that because I have a basketball game roughly at the same time. So I won't really get to see much of the game, and I'll be pretty knackered and probably not feeling like it, let alone the fact that I'm taking my wife and kids to Ed Sheeran on the Thursday night, which is a scheduling issue for the Paul James Show. So we're working through what this is going to look like. I feel like maybe Paul James Show might just be Friday next week, or something like that. We'll see how it goes. Do we think Earl Brown should have played Bill in The Last of Us Season 1? Hang on. Bill, Season 1, Telu actor. Oh, because that's right, Nick Offerman played the role. I mean, look, I think Nick Offerman did an amazing job. I think that that hour of television was one of the best hours of television I think I've ever seen. I'm not familiar with William Earl Brown, and I probably should be. Deadwood and the like. no, look, I'm pretty happy with what Nick Offerman brought to the role. Not to say that William Earl Brown can't, but and I also think in a lot of ways I don't really have the exposure. Unfortunately, I don't, because of the amount of time I spend playing games, I don't really consume much as far as TV is concerned. I do understand, I understand he's the voice actor of Bill from this. I don't know. It could go either way, and I think Offerman did a pretty amazing job. So I won't complain with what we got. All right, we'll wrap things up there. Thank you, Kerry. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Bussy, when you were here before. Ben Reeve for popping in. And then, of course, everyone who tuned in to the Paul James Show earlier on. We'll wrap things up there in lieu of not hitting the Super Chat goal. But thank you all for having tuned in. We won't keep a big, long outro because I've already done that when I wrapped up the Paul James Show earlier. It's been a pleasure. I'll look forward to doing this some way, some shape, some form, potentially next week. Got to work out what the day is going to be, where the Paul James Show might fit, and how we're going to do that. Ben and I will need to have a bit of a chat because, yeah, my Thursday night is definitely not happening next week with my wife and kids coming along to Ed Sheeran at Marble. But I'm keen to get into it. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Remain Geelong strong, and I'll see you later.